Hare Krishna friends, so we're finishing up the section where the universe is being created, and the next video will be Brahma making his prayers and his meditation to Krishna. And these last three verses sum up the end of all the creation and the expansion of the universe, and Mahavishnu entering the conglomeration of things, the souls waking up. The whole venue of this material world is now open, alive, ready for Brahma to do his thing. And that will be the next section, which will then herald the hymns of Brahma. So you've gotten through the rough part, and now we're just about to enter into the open clearing of the beauty of the hymns and prayers of Brahma. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna friends, so here we are at verse 20. One of the more mysterious verses in the Brahma-samhita. They're all mysterious, but this one is interesting. It starts, Yo jayiva tutanyeva. After combining all those separate entities, and remember, the name Sankarshana, Sang means groups, like a group, and Karshana means to attract. So group together and bring together, and that's like creation. That's a creative way to say creation. And so now Sankarshana has taken all the individual pieces, earth, fire, water, mind, intelligence, and is grouping them together so that the universes can be created, like the bodies and all the stuff. So after combining all the separate entities, Pravivesha Swayam Guham, he himself entered the unseen spaces. Guham means a secret, like a guyam, like the 9th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita is called Rajavija Raja Guyam, a secret. And this beautiful verse from the Bhagavad Gita is Rajavija Raja Guyam, that this knowledge is the greatest knowledge and it's the greatest secret too. And then the next line, Guham pravishte tasmimstu. These hidden recesses, once he had entered into them, so he goes into each of the hidden recesses of this universe, every atom. Jivatma pratibhuyate. The jivas are awakened, the spirit souls are awakened. And so what in the world does that mean? So I want to read a little chunk from the Bhagavad Gita here. And I'm going to read this, then I'm going to read the verse and the purport, and then we're going to explain it so we get the full picture. Krishna here says, chapter 8, text 18, at the beginning of Brahma's day, all living entities become manifest from the unmanifest state, and thereafter, when night falls, they are merged into the unmanifested again. And how long is Brahma's day? In verse 17, it says, by human calculation, 1,000 ages together take the duration of Brahma's one day, and such is also the duration of night. 1,000 ages together. Very long time is Brahma's day, very long time is Brahma's night. And at the end of Brahma's day, all the living entities go back and merge into Vishnu and like sleep there. So the entire universe has got many cycles within it, but then it has a main cycle where the entire universe is manifested out from Vishnu. Remember, as the little seed, and as the once the seed hits the material universe, it's like an egg that expands. Well, at some point it expands back and it comes back into the body of Mahavishnu. And at this point, we're just going to call that the Great Cataclysm. So right now, the beginning of creation, the spark comes out, which creates the egg, and then within it is Vishnu laying on the causal waters. And when he puts together all the elements, which stirs up Maya, he enters into each of the elements. And then when he does that, all the souls which are in a state of sleep also, which are within the body of Vishnu, they come out, and according to their karma, their desires, and so many things, then they get bodies, and their new activities start, and the whole machinery starts back up again. Okay, so I'm going to now read the translation. Let's read Bhaktisiddhanta's translation. Not too difficult. Bhaktisiddhanta says, by conglomerating all those separate entities, and he means all the parts, he manifested the innumerable mundane universes and himself entered into the innermost recess of every extended conglomerate. Puts things together and he enters into every bit of it. Virad Vigraha. At that time, those jivas who had lain dormant during the cataclysm were awakened. Okay, so now to the purport. The word guha, hidden activity, bears various interpretations in the Shastras. In some portions, the non-manifested pastimes of the Lord are called guha. So if you remember, there's Goloka, and then there's Gokula, the earthly version. All of Krishna's pastimes are in Goloka, and all Krishna's pastimes are in Gokula, but only those that Krishna wishes to manifest are the ones that we see. The rest of them are guha, hidden. And elsewhere, the resting place of the indwelling spirit of all individual souls is named guha. So the Paramatma Krishna within the heart is also in here, but where? If you dig open the heart, we don't see like Krishna there. In many places, the innermost recess of the heart of each individual is termed guha, where the soul exists. The main point is that the place which is hidden from the view of men in general is called guha. Those jivas that were merged in Hari at the end of the life of Brahma in the great cataclysm during the preceding great age of the universe reappeared in this world in accordance with their former fruit of desires. Pretty cool. So 100 years of Brahma. At the end of it, everything goes away and enters back into the body of Vishnu. Vishnu inhales, and then when Vishnu exhales, the little sparks, the universes come out again, the whole thing starts over. Each spark hits the material energy in the universe, and then it becomes like a little egg, and Vishnu now is within that little egg. And then Vishnu puts together all the elements which were separated, and that kind of stirs up Maya, the creative material energy. And then Vishnu enters into the hidden recesses of everything in the whole universe. Krishna's in all things, every atom. And then when that happens, then all the souls are reawakened again. They all come back into their the material universe and take up where they left off from the previous time. Pretty amazing, huh? Pretty detailed. Such an amazing, beautiful, detailed explanation of the universe. Hare Krishna. Okay, friends, verse 21, pretty straightforward and very beautiful. Sa nityo nitya sambandhaha prakritischa paraivasa. Sa nityo nitya sambandhaha. The jiva is eternal and has a nitya sambandhanaha, an eternal relationship. The spirit soul is eternal and has an eternal connection with divinity. Prakritis cha paraivasa, and is Krishna's prakriti para prakriti, a spiritual energy. So the soul is a spiritual energy, not a material energy, has an eternal connection with divinity, and is itself nitya, eternal. Okay, let's read this translation by Bhaktisiddhanda. The same jiva is eternal and is for eternity, and without a beginning, joined to the Supreme Lord by the tie of an eternal kinship. So it's eternal, has an eternal tie, a kinship. He is transcendental spiritual potency. Beautiful. The purport: just as the sun is eternally associated with his rays, So the transcendental Supreme Lord is eternally joined with the jivas. The sun and the rays is a perfect example of Krishna and the jiva, the soul. The jivas are the infinitesimal particles of his spiritual effulgence and are therefore not perishable like mundane things. Jivas, being particles of Godhead's effulgent rays, exhibit on a minute scale the qualities of the divinity. Hence, jivas are identical with the principles of knowledge, knower, egoism, enjoyer, meditator, and doer. Then these are all Krishna's qualities, and so the jiva has those qualities too, but just in a small degree. Like a drop of the ocean in our palm has all the qualities of the ocean. Now, there aren't whales and stuff in there, but it's qualitatively the same as the ocean. You could say it's an ocean. Krishna is the all-pervading, all-extending Supreme Lord, while jivas have a different nature from his, being his atomic particles. That eternal relationship consists in this, that the Supreme Lord is the eternal master and jivas are his eternal servants. Jivas have also sufficient eligibility in respect of the mellow quality of the divinity. Means God has the propensity for love, the jiva has a propensity for love. And then we have this verse, I'll read it from the Bhagavad Gita 7.5. Apareyam itastanyam prakritim vidhime param jiva bhutam mahabaho yayedam daryate jagat. Besides these means material elements: earth, fire, water, mind, intelligence, and false ego. Earth, fire, water, mind, intelligence, false ego, two more, I don't remember what they are. Besides these, O mighty armed Arjuna, there is another superior energy of mine, the jiva, which comprises the living entities who are exploiting the resources of this material inferior nature. So, big question, what is this whole material universe for? The entire material universe is for the jiva to enjoy separate from God. Now, the previous verse, God is existing in everything, but unseen. So the spirit soul can come into this world, engage with material elements, exploit the resources of material nature, have houses and Mercedes and be cool and look beautiful and enjoy. But God is guha, not seen. And that's the purpose. Because in the spiritual universe, the chit potency, Goloka, Krishna is in front of all things. And that's the difference. What's in the center? In this material world, the ego, ahankara, is the center. In the spiritual world, it's Krishna. By this verse of the Gita, it is made known that jivas are his transcendental potency. All the qualities of the unalloyed soul are above the eightfold qualities, such as egotism, etc. Earth, fire, water, ether, mind, intelligence, false ego, and I'm missing one. Pertaining to his achit potency. Achit means material. Chit is the spiritual world. Material world is the achit potency. Hence the jiva potency, though very small in magnitude, is still superior to the achit potency or maya. This potency has another name, tatastha. And so a tatastha is the margin. If you go to the beach where the ocean comes up onto the shore, that region where there's ocean and beach together, that's called tatastha, or material potency. being located on the line demarcating the spheres of the material and mundane potencies. So the spirit soul, though can be completely in the spiritual world, also has a tendency to live in the material world where, though the soul is eternal, it wishes to engage in this material world, much like if some fish wanted to live in that shore area between the beach and the ocean and wanted to engage in that space. That's like the jiva soul in this material world. He is susceptible to the influence of material energy owing to his small magnitude, but so long as he remains submissive to Krishna, the Lord of Maya, he is not liable to the influence of Maya. So as long as Krishna is in the center, Maya has no influence on him, because Maya is inferior to the soul. The worldly afflictions, birth and rebirth, are the concomitants of the fettered condition of the souls fallen into the clutches of the deluding potency from a time that has no beginning. Very cool. So that's the way the material world works. In chapter 15, Krishna says, Sarvasya chaham hridisane visto. I'm seated in everyone's heart, and from me comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. Now I remember the eightfold elements of this world: earth, fire, water, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego, ahankara. Those are the elements that are pulled together that create the world with all the stuff in them. Okay? Very cool. Hare Krishna. Okay, my dear friends, this is our last verse, 22, for the day. Very quick. It says, the divine lotus which springs from the navel pit of Vishnu is in every way related by the spiritual tie with all souls and is the origin of four-faced Brahma, versed in the four Vedas. And then the purport, the same divine lotus originating from the divine person entered into the hidden recesses is the superior plane of aggregation of all individual souls. In other words, this lotus that Brahma appears on, which comes from Vishnu, this is kind of the channel, the gateway of all the souls. So Brahma comes through it, and all the souls also come through this lotus. The four-faced Brahma, the image of self-enjoyment, derives his origin from the prototype Brahma, or Hiranyagarbha. Now, if you remember in the diagram, Sankarshan, which is laying in the Viraj River outside of the little egg universe with Vishnu, from the middle of his head comes Shiva, from his right arm comes Brahma, and from his left arm comes Vishnu, right? And so that Brahma is, or called Hiranyagarbha, is the origin Brahma, and from that Brahma, all the Brahmas and all the little universes appear. So they call that one he's calling that one the prototype, the origin one that all the ones come from. So I'll read that again. The four-faced Brahma, the image of self-enjoyment, derives his origin from the prototype Brahma, or Hiranyagarbha, the mundane seminal principle, who regards the aggregate of all mundane entities as his own proper body. The delegation godship of Brahma, as well as his being the dislocated portion of Krishna, are also established. Okay, that one's a little bit confusing. So what that is saying is that, in a nutshell, the lotus that Brahma appears on is the source of all the souls which are coming from their sleep from Vishnu. Brahma, his body, is the origin of all sorts of parts of this universe, like knowledge and arts and music and mathematics and things come from his body. And so he's part of the lotus, and so he considers the universe as part of his own body. Even Shiva will appear from his body. The original Shiva will also appear from Brahma's forehead. And so as Brahma appears on the lotus and the jivas enter into the universe, Brahma, as kind of like the universal project manager, puts together all the universes and galaxies and all the bodies and the culture and knowledge and all the things for the living entities to engage with and enjoy. Okay? All right. Hare Krishna.